take a deep breath. Close your eyes, breathe in, and now, breathe out, slowly again. Inhale, and let go. What if the scent you've always thought of as calming is actually speaking to the deepest parts of your nervous system, not just soothing your mind, but rewiring it? Lavender isn't just perfume for pillows. It isn't just a pretty purple flower in a garden. It's not merely a trend in bath bombs or candles. Lavender changes your brain waves. That's right, not helps you relax, not makes you feel nice. It alters the electrical rhythm of your mind, a quiet shift from frantic beta waves of anxiety to slow, steady alpha and theta waves, the same frequencies found in deep meditation, in twilight dreams, in the stillness between heartbeats. In the next 15 minutes, you'll discover how lavender gently supports your sleep, calms your anxiety, and quietly retunes your nervous system, not with chemicals, but with chemistry older than cities. Let your breath deepen. Let your shoulders soften. This isn't a quick fix. This is a return to something ancient, to something real, to something that has been whispering to human souls since before we learned to write. Welcome home. Long before labs had names, before pills had barcodes, people knew. In ancient Egypt, they buried lavender with the dead, not just for fragrance, but because they believed it sent guided spirits gently into the next world. In Roman baths, emperors soaked in water infused with lavender blooms, calling it lavenda, from lower, to wash not just the body, but the soul. In the hills of Provence, where the sun bleeds gold into the earth, grandmothers tied bundles above doorways to ward off nightmares, to invite peace into the home. And here, in the quiet corners of early American homesteads, settlers dried lavender under eaves, tucked sprigs into children's pillowcases, whispered prayers as they crushed petals between their fingers. They didn't call it pharmacology, called it listening, and few plants whispered, as softly as lavender. Its violet spikes rise like tiny torches against dry earth, resilient, unassuming. Its scent doesn't shout, it lingers, like memory, like forgiveness, like the hush after a long cry to the Celts. It was sacred to the fairies, a bridge between worlds, to the Greeks. It carried the breath of the gods down to mortals, to modern science. It's a neuroactive compound, but to those who knew, it was always both. A guardian, a messenger, a quiet healer who never asked for thanks, only presence. When you smell lavender, you're not just smelling a flower, you're inhaling centuries of human longing for calm, for safety, for stillness, and perhaps for the part of yourself that forgot how to rest. Now, let's listen to what the science says, not as proof, but as confirmation. A 2021 placebo-controlled study published in Phytomedicine tracked 60 adults with mild to moderate anxiety. Half received lavender essential oil capsules, standardized to linalool and linalool acetate. The other half, placebo. After 4 weeks, those using lavender showed statistically significant reductions in anxiety scores, comparable to low-dose benzodiazepines, but without sedation, dependency, or cognitive fog. Harvard researchers noted in 2019 that linalool, the primary terpene in lavender, acts directly on GABA receptors, the very same targets of prescription anti-anxiety medications. But here's the quiet miracle. Lavender doesn't force GABA, it encourages it, gently, like sunlight coaxing a seed to unfurl. Another study from the University of Maryland Medical Center, published in Evidence-Based Complementary and Alternative Medicine, found that inhalation of lavender oil reduced cortisol levels by up to 30% within 20 minutes, lowering the stress hormone not by blocking it, but by signaling the hypothalamus, you are safe now. And then there's data. Electroencephalograms, brainwave recordings, show that exposure to lavender increases alpha wave activity associated with relaxed alertness and theta waves linked to deep meditation and REM sleep. In one experiment, participants exposed to lavender while resting showed brain patterns nearly identical to those of experienced meditators after only 10 minutes. No mantra, no yoga, just air carrying molecules of lavender. It doesn't erase stress. It dissolves its grip. It doesn't numb the mind. It recalibrates it. And unlike synthetic drugs, which often blunt emotion, lavender preserves awareness while softening its edges. It doesn't make you sleepy. It makes you ready for sleep, not forced, not drugged. Reclaimed. This is not magic. It's molecular. Poetry. Nature. Writing sonnets in the language of your neurons. So how do you meet lavender? Not as a product, but as a practice. Here's the quiet ritual. Begin with intention. Light a candle. Place a small ceramic cup warm to the touch on a windowsill where moonlight touches the sill. Measure 1 teaspoon of dried culinary-grade lavender buds. Not extract, not spray. Real flowers. Grown in soil, sun-kissed, hand-harvested. Place them in your cup. Pour water, just off the boil, at 90 degrees Celsius, 195 degrees Fahrenheit. Not boiling, not too hot, just warm enough to release. Not destroy. Cover the cup. Let it steep. 10 minutes. Not because science says so, though it does, but because your soul needs that pause while you wait. Close your eyes. Feel the weight of the cup in your palms. Listen to the steam rising. Imagine the linalool molecules waking, dancing, drifting upward, not just into the air, but into your bloodstream. Your nervous system remembers this. It knows this scent. It has waited. When time is up, lift the lid. Breathe. Let the aroma fill your lungs. Add a drop of raw, local honey, not to sweeten, but to honor, or a sliver of organic lemon peel, to lift the energy, to brighten the depth. Drink. Slowly. Sip, as if tasting silence. Swallow, as if giving permission, to rest, to release. 2. Be held. Do this every night, not when you're already overwhelmed, but when you're still whole, before the storm, because healing isn't emergency medicine, it's daily devotion. And lavender asks for nothing more than your presence. Just you, the cup, the steam. The quiet. That's all she needs. Nature is powerful. Honor her strength with respect. Lavender is generally safe for most adults, but not for all. Avoid internal use during pregnancy, especially in the first trimester, unless guided by a qualified herbalist. If you have liver disease, hormonal conditions, or are taking SSR, is benzodiazepines, or anticoagulants, consult your doctor. Rare cases of skin sensitivity or hormone-like effects have been reported with chronic, high-dose, essential oil use. Never ingest undiluted essential oil. Always choose food-grade, dried flowers for tea. Now, synergy. Lavender doesn't work alone. It sings best in harmony. At the University of Pennsylvania, researchers found that combining lavender with lemon balm amplified calming effects by 40%, particularly for sleep-onset insomnia. Together, they create a gentle cascade. Lemon balm soothes the mind, lavender quiets the nerves, and with chamomile, a triad of tranquility. Even better, add a pinch of ashwagandha root powder to your nightly infusion. Adaptogenic. Grounding, deeply supportive of adrenal balance, and if you're using topical oils, always dilute. 1 drop lavender plus 2 drops of jojoba oil. Apply to wrists, behind ears. Breathe. Don't just receive. Remember, the goal isn't to eliminate discomfort, it's to hold space for it. With grace, with patience, with lavender. She doesn't fix, she holds. and sometimes that's enough. Close your eyes. Feel the warmth in your hands. The cup still holds heat, not from the water, from your presence. Now, imagine you're standing in a field at dusk. Purple spikes sway in a breeze you can't feel. The sky is turning indigo. No stars yet. Just the last light. You reach down, fingers brush petals. There. Cool. Velvet. Alive. You pluck one. Hold it to your nose. Breathe. And as you exhale, tension in your jaw melts. Shoulders sink. Chest opens. Your thoughts, those buzzing bees, begin to settle. One by one. Landing. On petals. On moss. On still water. You are not trying to sleep. You are not trying to fix anything. You are simply allowing the lavender doesn't command your mind. It invites like a friend who sits beside you in silence, who doesn't ask why you're crying. Who just offers a blanket and waits. Your breath slows. Deeper, slower. Your heartbeat finds its rhythm again. Not fast, not anxious, just steady, like the earth breathing. The scent wraps around you, not as perfume, as protection, as remembrance. You remember. You are safe. You are held. You are enough, just as you are. No fixing needed. No becoming, only being. The field grows darker. Stars appear. One, then two, then 1,000. You lie back. The ground is soft, cool, supportive. Above you, the sky. Below you, the earth. Between you, the quiet and the lavender. Still breathing with you. Always, always. When you're ready, gently wiggle your fingers. Stretch your toes. Bring your awareness back to your hands, to the cup, to this moment. You are not the same person who began this. You don't need to be. You are exactly where you need to be. Lavender doesn't cure anxiety. It reminds you that you were never broken. It doesn't fix sleep. It restores the rhythm you forgot. Your head. It doesn't erase pain. Teaches you to hold it, tenderly, like a child, like a prayer, like a secret whispered to the moon. May the spirit of this plant envelop you like a blanket woven from moonlight and stillness. If lavender brought you peace tonight and filled you with serenity, don't miss the next video. Dandelion root, the liver cleanse you've never experienced. There's more, much more, and each herb has a story, a song, a portal. If this moment served, you share it with someone who hasn't slept well in weeks, with someone who feels too much, with someone who thinks they're broken. Tell them you're not. You're just remembering. Leave a comment below. What did you feel? Did you remember a childhood smell? A grandmother's kitchen? A moment when you finally breathed deeply for the first time in years? Subscribe for more quiet revolutions. No hype, no miracles, just herbs, and the stillness they carry, because healing doesn't shout, it whispers, and if you're listening, it's already speaking. This content is for educational purposes only. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Please consult your healthcare provider before using any herbal remedy, especially if you are pregnant, nursing, taking medication, or have a medical condition.